Welcome to Wine Workshops. My name is Linda Gaines. Today we're going to talk about red wines, and we're going to focus on two things: tannins and the role of oak in winemaking. Let's start with tannins first. Tannins are the part of the wine that when you drink it, it creates a drying sensation in your mouth. The tannins come from the skins of the grapes, which is also where the color comes from. So when you're making red wine, you're fermenting the whole grape. So not just the inside where the juice is, but the skins as well. And during that fermentation process is where the color is being extracted to give it the red color, and the tannins are also being extracted. Tannins really help round a wine out. It gives it real structure. Some tannins can be bitter though, or chewy and rough, but other tannins can be very smooth and well integrated. Different red grape varietals have different levels of tannin. So a Pinot Noir or a Tempranillo have low levels of tannin, whereas a Cabernet Sauvignon or a Malbec have high levels of tannin. And then Merlot and Cabernet Franc fall somewhere in the middle. Now for oak is one of those things that isn't one thing, it's many things, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But a winemaker will use oak to do a few things. One, it will oxidize the wine, which can help soften the tannins. So if you're making a wine that's very tannic, by having it sit in oak for a while, that will help soften those tannins. Oak barrels are waterproof, but they're not airtight, and so oak barrels allow air to get in to help oxidize the wine a bit. Oak barrels can also impart flavors of vanilla and spice. So if a winemaker wants to have some of those flavors in the wine, they will use an oak barrel. And then the third thing that it can do is provide more body to the wine. And that partly is from imparting some tannins from the oak into the wine. So as I said a minute ago, oak isn't one thing, it's many things. And so the winemaker has a lot of decisions to make when they want to have oak involved in the winemaking process. So everything from whether they're going to use a new oak barrel or an old oak barrel, what kind of oak the barrel's made out of. Is it European oak or American oak? It can be the size of the barrel and how long the wine is in there. So the winemaker, any of those decisions are going to impact the final result of the wine. These are some of the topics that we explore in the in-person wine workshops for red wine, but feel free to go experiment on your own. If you go to wine-workshops.com and go to the resources tab, there is a document called Tannin Levels in Red Grape Varietals, and it divides all the red grapes into kind of lower tannins versus higher tannins. And so from there, you can go get some wine and see where your preference lies. Maybe start with a Pinot Noir from Oregon and compare that to a Malbec from Argentina. You could try a Bordeaux from France, and depending upon where from that region in France it comes from, it may have more Cabernet Sauvignon in it, or it may have more Merlot in it, but that's always an interesting experiment. But the bottom line is to definitely experiment and figure out where your preferences lie. And remember that everybody's wine journey is different, and feel free to experiment and have fun with it. Thanks for joining me today, and hope to see you in a future wine workshop.